Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm sure as many of you have noticed, there is, or at least the handful of you that have already been subscribed to me, there is a name change on my YouTube channel. So stick around for that at the end of the video, and I'll make explanations. For those of you who are new here, I am the Ben 10,000 of Yu-Gi-Oh! And today what we're going to talk about is Samurai Destroyer. This new card that I am like uber excited for, and I'm going to explain to you why. So, without further ado, let's get started. The reason why you should pick up this card is, well, I have a handful of good reasons. Boom! It's generic. This thing can be summoned using any tuner plus any non-tuner. It does not care. So it's uber easy to summon. It's a battle boss. Now what I'm saying by that is, see what the Samurai Destroyer does is during the battle phase, any monster that it battles can't activate its effects, and its effects are negated. So that gives it a huge advantage. Actually, and I think it's like any effect can't be activated when it battles. So it's basically Armades plus with the added bonus of negating whatever monster it's battling's abilities. So, like for example, if your opponent has a Utopia of the Lightning, you summon this, you swing over it, and for 100 damage, and then your opponent can't activate the Lightning's abilities. These effects are constants. None of these effects activate, and you don't have to worry about being like mirror forced or anything either, because it's like Armades. Your opponent can't do anything when this thing makes a swing. And of course, being 2600, level 7, I mean the stats are pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. The other half of this monster's ability is it's like Colossal Fighter, in that instead of being destroyed by battle, to bring back a warrior. What this thing does, if it leaves the field for any reason, it can bring back a machine from the graveyard. And there are a plethora of machines to pick from, and you can also choose to bring back the Samurai Destroyer. So I think that's a bonus. Look at that artwork, man! It's a giant samurai robot! Who doesn't want that in their deck? I know I do. I might be a little biased. I like, Power Rangers and Transformers and Warriors and stuff like that because I'm a big old flippin' nerd. But, there you go. The artwork is pretty amazing. I thoroughly enjoy it. I like the hand cannon, especially because it's like an old school, like, cannon, like what the Samurai Warriors used to use. It even has, like, the little wick coming out of his, like, elbow on the cannon arm. I get a chuckle out of that. Next one. This card is a rare, alright? So it's automatically going to be cheap. Alright, so even if it's like $1 rare, it's still not a very expensive card. Like, I'm kind of glad Konami gave made a monster like this, because truth be told, there's too many good cards that in this game that are uber expensive. You know what I mean? So for the fact of, at least for a little while this card's under the radar, it will be cheap. It might even stay under the radar. I mean, I don't think this card's going to have the impact of, say, like Fairy Tail Snow, because Fairy Tail Snow ended up being a staple Lightsworn monster, and I don't think this will have that same effect on the game as Fairy Tail Snow does, but, I mean, who knows? But for the time being, it's going to be cheap right after sneak peek prices go way down. Next one, it's widely available. It is a rare. This is going to be a card that gets pulled a ton of during the entirety of opening packs and people buying boxes of this set and all that stuff. This isn't going to be a card that's hard to get. I mean, like, I'm looking to hope when the after sneak peek prices, because I never buy sneak peek prices. After that, I'm going to buy probably about 4 copies of this card, because I have a plethora of decks, as you guys see on my channel. If you go through, you'll see tons of the decks. Lightsworn's what I'm mostly famous for, but And I do put quotes on that famous for the record. um, but there you go. This is the Samurai Destroyer into that. And then we have one other reason. It's great in any deck that can use synchros. Like I mentioned, Lightsworn. This is probably that's probably where I'll most likely use it. But you can put this thing in ABCs, Cristrons. You can put this in Quick Draw Synchro. You can put this in Six Samurais. You can put this in X Sabers. Just any deck that synchro summons at all. You've got a powerful monster that is big enough to get over certain monsters that are a pain in the butt when it comes to the battle phase. And thanks to cards like Zodiac not being, or a lot of like big important zoo monsters getting smacked by the ban list, like Dryden and Broad Bull, you know, and all that stuff. You know, we have a lot less monsters in the game that are like battle phase destroyers. And I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of wish I had this back when Zodiac was a thing, because if you're going first, I could have just played this, and then when they popped it, oh, bring it back. Watch them get real mad. This monster is just overall what I'm really extremely excited for this new upcoming set, and I'm such an easy person to please. I pick like some random common or rare, and I'm like, that's what I want. But I don't know. It's my philosophy that you don't have to have the most expensive card in the game to be decent at the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or to even have fun with it. I mean, primarily on this channel, we're all about the fun. Alright. We do throw some competitive stuff out there here and there. You know, I try to give you the most viable version of a deck that I can come up with. Although sometimes I fall a little short. It is what it is. You know, you guys let me know in my last video that you did not like that Synchro Cat deck. So, even though a ton of you watched it, y'all did not like it. But that's okay. That's okay. I can try again at a later date. But I digress. Yeah. Bonus reason. Because anyone else think of this thing and they look at like the robots from Pacific Rim? Anyone else think that? Because I know I did. Like I saw that samurai. Look at it. There's Gypsy Danger. Look at it thing. Big orb in the chest. Big orb in the chest. Oh. No, I'm just okay, guys. All right. I'm gonna leave this picture up while I explain a few things. I have changed my name from the Chaotic Dragon to Ben 10,000 of Yu-Gi-Oh! I felt like the Ben 10,000 one was a little more rolly off the tongue a little bit and a little easier to say. And so it's a name that made more sense for a Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube channel. So I'm just going to call myself Ben 10,000, alright? Not the Ben 10,000 of Yu-Gi-Oh! The of Yu-Gi-Oh! Parts, just so I can, you know, not get in trouble. The other thing is, it was part of the name change was it was a little joke between some friends of mine. The joke was that out of all, like, we were doing like this joke thing where we got superhero doppelgangers. So one of my female friends, she has purple hair right now, so we're like, Raven? And then, you know, my best friend was all like, I could see that. And then she makes a comment how he looks like Thor without his hammer, you know, because Thor, when he lost his hammer in the Marvel Comics, he's got this, like, really short blonde hair, and he's kind of sporting the blonde stubble, and my best friend's a blonde-haired dude. And then, of course, then they were looking at me, and they were like, well, can't really think of any superheroes that really carry a beard except for, like, you know, Green Arrow, but I don't have blonde hair. And then I was floating around, and I saw Ben 10,000, which is like Ben from the future, from the Ben 10 TV series, and then I was like, oh, there I am, right there. I look like Ben 10,000. So, there you go, guys. So now I'm the Ben 10,000 of Yu-Gi-Oh! It makes sense to me because, you know, like, I play so many different decks, or I try to update older decks to fight in newer formats. I'm very much a, what do you call it? I don't know. I try to bring older decks back and try to make them maybe not competitively viable, but I'd like to steal a few W's here and there, you know, because there's nothing more fun and satisfying than like playing like Teledad, right? But you know what I mean, like, but for this format. So you've only got like one Darkarm Dragon, one emergency teleport, and then you got to show your opponent, yeah, I can still take this old deck and win, you know, or whatever deck you might have a preference for. So yeah, and so I'm like, I try to think of myself as a guy with many decks. You know what I mean? I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. But so that is my whole spiel on how and why I changed my name. This is the video where it's gonna explain that. And if you have any other questions or any content you would like to see, please leave it in the comments below. I do read all of my comments. I'm a little slow on it, but I do read them. Make sure you like and share this video. So this is Ben 10,000 of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm signing off.